I see AI as a collaborator. Dorang suruh kami murah. Why don't we go to their shop? Can you charge this 10%? For you page or your explore page on Instagram isn't filled with strategy and design. You're not learning enough.
Welcome back to part 2. Topik semakin hangat pasal kreatif scenery di Brunei. Not just pasal designers, banyak lagi macam segala musician apa itu ni. So tadi kita ni sambung pasal banyak orang devalue di Brunei. So your perspective of that memang lurus atau on point berhabis tu your perspective atau sekali kalau di apa tu macam kalau macam dulu art atau kena lihat as lukisan. Tadi I mention kena lihat as lukisan, tapi while design ia solve a problem macam of course bukan saja ia lawa, ia mesti ada function.
Correct.
So kirakan kalau sekiranya designer di Brunei ni diorang ambil inisiatif untuk belajar sedikit pasal business, I think diorang boleh elevate diorang punya apa tu value tu in terms of business. Pasal macam aku dulu keluar daripada college, masa college buat business macam buat freelancing, tapi keluar ke reality, ke real market, aku dah dapat jual. Aku pandai buat barang tapi aku dah pandai jual. So I started getting courses dari there awal-awal, dan Livewire, dan further lah. Tapi kirakan masa you switch daripada being creative sahaja and then belajar sedikit pasal business atau kirakan which one yang excites you the most between those two?
What a difficult question.
Sorry.
I remember sitting in front of my laptop. I had a list of things I want to learn. So every time I make a mistake dulu, I would put it there, and then I would find a book or a course or a YouTube video that would solve that. That would somehow make me learn to solve that problem too. There was a lot. So I mean, as a creative who wants to do business, there's a lot of things that we need to learn kanto, which is talking to people, which are talking to people, learning the in and out cash flow. Then you want to improve in the creativity punya part. You want to improve in the templates punya part. How do you make things efficient? I don't have a specific one, but I remember struggling. Macam if I learn too much on this, I would waste time here. That's because I was alone. I was alone on that part. But my wife was doing the designing punya part. So that was, I wouldn't say I have a favorite. Ataupun
dua-dua mesti blend lah.
Dua-dua mesti blend. But overcoming, kirakan ticking that on the to-do list satu, if you're done with it, that's the most exciting part. The more lists I have, actually I don't get overwhelmed. I get more excited. Again, it feels like Goku trying to fight Frieza or Naruto trying to fight
Kalau selesai satu.
Like it feels like it's fun. It's a game lah. Macam tu lah.
I'm addicted to learning itu.
Yes.
Sampai ni. Yes. So I can feel you pun macam tu kan sampai ni.
Kalau masa sekolah dulu bisa masa sekolah dulu ngalih. It's like why do I have this sort of mindset? Why do we have this sort of mindset now?
Pasal I noticed that masa kita ni first time jumpa di Riskun yang masa startup summit.
The summit.
We had kirakan of course macam small conversation, tapi syok masa tu. Macam we talk about the scenery in Brunei, macam mana kreatifnya. Tapi I wish benda tu dapat di record masa tu. So that's why alhamdulillah ada sudah hari
Thank
ni.
you for inviting. I was really looking forward to talk to you.
Alhamdulillah.
I didn't know it was just with the camera.
So okay, now the question is, so macam mana your perspective on the creative industry di Brunei ni? How do you see it?
As it is now, I feel like there's a lot of things that can be improved. number one would be more on collaboration
Yes.
rather than competition.
Yes.
We all know that, let's just go down to agencies. This agency knows how to do this, this agency knows how to do that. But if a client comes in and then they want both, let's say agency A would just try to give everything and what in-house can, but it's not necessarily, it doesn't have to be like that all the time. Cross collaboration would help in making the client punya the outcome to better, the project better lah. I see that as a possibility, and that's only agency punya level. There are other layers macam freelancers. There are talents, creators. If we were to look outside, an agency would carry out a big project, but a lot of creators are involved. And we watch it every day, really, like on TikTok, on Instagram, but we just don't realize it. It feels authentic, natural, kan? But it's actually part of a big mass media campaign punya plan lah. If we were able to do that, I think we are able to do it actually. It's just a matter of collaboration.
Yes.
And of course, budget.
Yes.
But maybe we can talk about budget. I don't know if that's
boleh. Pasal macam in terms of budget, kalau di luar negeri, I've seen even YouTube 5 minutes ads kah yang si Wawa Zainal punya kosmetik. Dia macam buat short film atau kan. Their budget was 500,000. Tapi
D&D
RM pulang.
RM.
Tapi
still a lot.
And then diorang cakap Atu pun masih tight budget. And Atu untuk satu project satu video, masa project Atu diorang ada buat dua video. So it's 1 million lah. Tapi seeing that amount di Brunei, it's not there.
It's not there.
It's not there.
I mean, it makes sense because we only have like 400,000, 500,000 population. So if you spend that much, your ROI is not that high.
Yes.
Right? But then maybe we can look into bigger projects yang bigger projects, government or corporate punya projects itu. These awareness campaigns and all these things could be a bit higher.
Is it because macam kita ni limited to one industry sahaja tu? So kalau macam di luar, cosmetic is one of industry di sana. So macam apparels one of industry di sana. So is it macam kalau macam kita ni di Brunei, correct me if I'm wrong, kirakan the only industry yang boleh bagi that kind of budget is from the oil and gas. Is it that way? Macam mana?
Not so sure on that one pulang. Pasal di luar itu kan, when they start a business, not creative, like apparel and everything, they have millions and millions of people to buy. If Brunei were to able to do that, then automatically their budget for marketing would be higher. But if we're only able to afford macam a store and then you just hope to buy dari sana saja, the spending a lot on marketing doesn't make sense. Which is why I agree with you, only big companies will be able to afford things like this. But then again, what's the point? If oil and gas kirakan there's only one or two and then they all have their projects, they don't need more projects. That's why it's a bit difficult, and hence it makes sense for now until Brunei goes bigger in the business punya side to try and go outside lah, to get some work. Not necessarily mean you go outside as your own company, but go outside, collaborate with other agencies. They have a big budget. So if the market value of Brunei punya work and dorang punya work, like let's say a video just now, 500,000 RM, what is that? Like 200k 200k BND kan?
100 plus.
How much does a video cost here? Right. So if they were to just take you in and you learn from there, you still make money, number one. Number two, you don't have a problem with budget. Number three, you learn a lot. Cross collaboration again. Cross collaboration doesn't necessarily have to be here lah. But if Brunei were to have a bigger budget, businesses semua pa, which cannot only be from dorang, but it also has to come from us, where we prove that it really helps them.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense to spend thousands and dollars on an agency or a freelancer only to have the same results. So their business needs to be better. If we can prove that, then we wouldn't have that problem. Like it will just go better and better saja.
And then I always believe that macam kalau if only businesses di Brunei ni start to penetrate international market. Contoh our F&B banyak kita ni punya local products yang nyaman-nyaman sebenarnya. Ada in fact ada satu tu lebih nyaman daripada Garrett's. Dia punya popcorn kan. Lebih nyaman serius. Tapi ada proper branding apa tu. So macam kita ni kirakan we're trying to solve that problem yang sebenarnya Brunei ni yang ia lacking is branding sebenarnya kan. In terms of rasa tu memang ada sudah that kind of quality lah. So from your what do you think of Bruneians to have their own branding tu, tapi yang orang boleh mempenetrate keluar tu? How important is that?
Branding is super important, but we need to figure out the typically businesses when they talk about branding all they think about is just the logo. The logo. So that's why I think when you come up with like this is your proposal sekali you spend thousands and thousands of dollars, you quote thousands and thousands of what, it's just building a logo. But branding is not that. So there's strategy. There's also branding is literally your identity. So macam how do you speak to your target audiences and then how do you look like, and finally how do you act like. If we build that, of course it's going to cost a lot, because that is permanent, more permanent than marketing. Branding and marketing are two different things. So if we are able as creatives, we are able to communicate that value and what that definition really, it would help a lot of the businesses here, provided that they understand. Pasal everyone here, every time you talk to people, I want to target as many people as possible. As many people as possible, everyone. But you're supposed to target
a niche,
right? You're supposed to target a certain target audience. I mean, let's say I'm interested in what am I interested in really?
What is your favorite brand?
I don't have a favorite brand. I have favorite campaigns, but I don't have a favorite brand. What's an example? Let's try to figure something out.
Cuba yang your favorite campaigns itu macam mana?
The favorite campaign was the Reddit one.
Okay.
Reddit rebrand. Okay. That was really nice. Pasal, we all use Reddit kan. And then suddenly ada macam the 3D look apa. It didn't feel different. But that was done by, which agency was that? Pentagram, I think. It was done by Pentagram. They did that whole thing. Not macam the client comes to you and then you do taruskan. What they did was they interviewed people, they
market research,
semua macam tu lah. And that's why branding costs a lot. That was one of my favorite campaigns. I don't remember the details, but that is the scale that we can do in order for them to be able to expand more lah for the businesses. I think
even macam when you talk about costing kira kan even doing market research pun macam kalau sekiranya kita ni buat qualitative interview tu mesti juga kita ni bayar walaupun voucher saja.
Voucher mana jorang mau kena interview nada untung kan.
Sekali tapi the data tu kira kan itu yang sebenarnya mahal tu kan. Benar pula masa ni ada ChatGPT, but it's different.
It's different. Yeah, it's different.
There's nama tu. Masa ni AI is coming. Kami melihat barang itu dari 2022. So that's the reason kami pivot sedikit doing the branding supaya masih ada human touch. Tapi what do you think of AI masa ni? Macam kebanyakan lah yang ku dengar macam designer, habis ni kerja kami masa ni dari kami kerja. But we take ada macam yang we take some advantage from AI. Tapi for more details tu macam mana? How do you see it AI masa ni?
I see AI as a collaborator really. Liana Hanif is actually showing this. I spoke to Liana Hanif before and she is really looking to show how how AI, especially in the creative punya side, should be seen as a collaborator rather than
mengambil kerajaan
mengambil kerajaan. It's not like if you give a business owner just them just using AI for their whole thing, it wouldn't work. It wouldn't work. It would look completely different. Right. So AI should be used as a collaborator. I see this as, we actually use it sometimes, especially macam kalau when you, let's say this video and then this background is here, you wanted to change the background, you want to make it like portrait and everything, you can actually just expand it. And it really helps because the quality improves there. As long as you can use it to improve the quality but not macam use it completely, then it's fine. Pasal, I mean, maybe back then when we used to just use the typewriter saja, before we were born probably, we used the typewriter and then the computer came in. Probably everyone says that they're going to lose their jobs there, but we still need someone to man it. I see it the same way. It will be and it can be used as a collaborator to improve the quality of your work. No matter what lah. You won't lose your job. You won't lose your job. And I wish I could show more of that lah. Kalau macam ada project apa, I would probably try to do the same thing to show that some work could be improved just by using AI. But there's a lot, like it's not just ChatGPT. There's a DALI. There's a Adobe Firefly. Even on the Illustrator punya part now, you can generate some images. Photoshop as well. It really helps.
Tapi kirakan macam from your kirakan macam ada some of business owners, kami dah payah lagi bayar kreatif untuk buat ni, kami sendiri generate PT ni kan, ataupun kenapa kamu masih charge mahal-mahal PT ni, pasal apa jawabannya kamu prompt, but kirakan prompting itu pun ada punya structure kan.
You have to think. Mesti je. I mean, dorang suruh kami murah. Why don't we go to their shop? Can you charge this 10% for 10% of the actual price? If they say no, then they understand. We're also running a business kan.
Kalau on that that angle, kirakan what do you think of macam clients yang macam mau multiple rounds of revisions kan? Kalau macam in a business term, pernah pulang kita ni kena ajar, cuba agar Pak kadai minum, kalau another glass itu which is apa juga yang menuang, tapi kita ni still have to pay, but in the creative industry payah kita ni kan explain barang atau macam sebenarnya ada cost in terms of masa ni, tapi how do you handle that kind of client?
Number one, I mean, learning from the mistake of that app thing back then is contracts lah. So we usually put in 2 or 3 revisions depending on what the thing is. But there are also steps to be able to avoid that. There's this thing called the stylescapes, or basically just a level up. Maybe Super Saiyan 1 of a mood board. Stylescapes ani is technically the bridge of dari strategy to design. So probably when I say epic, I think about Goku. So when you say epic, you probably think Transformers. So that's why kami in the align kan. So the whole point of this mood board or stylescape ani is to translate these words into like
mock-ups,
visual, not mock-ups yet, but more like visuals to make sure that we align. Sekali baru tah we move to the execution or the design punya part lah. Pasal if they say they want something simple, in your head simple is different, right? In their head, simple is a completely different thing. So we want to make this really low effort bridge ani. It's like a long, what do you call this, long artwork lah, where you just put in a lot of pictures just to make sure that we align. I think that can minimize the revision atu. If we align early, then towards the end atu, it will be less of the revision atu, because we already understand.
Tinggal saja macam refining.
Tinggal refining sajalah.
Balancing, betul.
But revision can also happen if here's what I don't understand sometimes. I'm still trying to figure it out. So revision can also happen if the client starts to come in. I'm not talking about the client. I mean, it's their thing, and if we were to also pay someone to make something for us, we really want to be in it, right?
Yep.
But one of the problems is that when the client comes in, masa the design process itu only to change a lot of things lah. Usually what we would do is we go back to the strategy punya part. This is what we agreed on.
Yep.
You are trying to target this.
Yes.
Let's say Hard Rock Cafe, they wanted it to be pink.
Yep.
But your target audience are bikers. I know you like pink, but your audience doesn't like pink. So shall we still move forward? And then they start thinking. They start thinking like, oh right, it's personal preference, right? As much as this is my brand, this brand is literally for the target audience that you want to get money from. That's usually how we would restructure the way they think when it comes to the revisions. And it's not that we don't want to do it; we can do it. In the end, they're the boss. But we as creative, as designers or an agency, we are being paid to also think, right?
To clarify,
think, to consult.
Yep.
So if we were to do that, we know for a fact that the target audience won't be interested. And our job is to make their business better. So this needs to happen all the time. It's very uncomfortable, of course. Kadang dorang na mau bayar, kadang na mau bayar. But the integrity needs to be there. And I think this is where I would recommend, I guess, the viewers to read the Business of Expertise and also Win Without Pitching Manifesto. Those are the two books that would change the way you think and speak as a designer.
I agree that kita ni designer ni, kita ni literally boleh buat apa saja yang dorang mau sebenarnya. Tapi kirakan kalau kita ni melayan, amount yang dorang bayar tu kadang-kadang menjadi in the worth it kalau the targeted audience itu anda suka apa itu ni. So ia membawa lebih besar damage-nya tu. Kan? Macam tadi Hardcore Cafe warna pink. Confirm dah naga tu.
Dah naga oleh the target audience.
Bini barangkali yang agak. So barang macam mana ni mesti ada waktu dalam every designer sebenarnya. So kalau ada designer yang mendengarkan masa ni, maybe start reading books sebenarnya.
Courses.
Masuk segala business courses seperti ini. So even masa macam once kita ni masuk dalam business courses atau baru tu kita ni bertukar atau minda kita ni.
Talk to a lot of people, talk to a lot of business owners. How do you plan to come up with a solution if you don't even know the problem? Mesti talk to a lot of people. Mesti, you know, if your what would you call it on TikTok ni? For you page or your explore page on Instagram isn't filled with strategy and design, you're not learning enough. Mesti that's everything. So I think that's a good benchmark lah.
Okay, kita ni kan bercerita pasal business community yang available di Brunei apa ini. Benar pelang sebelum ni ada during our previous episode kita ni sudah cerita pasal Livewire, pasal Dare, pasal CIBD apa itu ni. Tapi experience lain-lain orang memang berbeza-beza. So kita ni kan bercerita pasal itu ada part 3. Alright, kita ni berehat dulu.